I'm Jan with Jan Patek Quilts, and I do needle turn applique. And today we're going to play with 2015 Acorn Lane, which is my latest little table stand quilt. And we make two-sided table stand quilts. You can take the pattern and just make two mini quilts if you don't want to do a table stand quilt. Or we are going to put all of these together at the end into a bigger quilt. But here's the back in case your table stand is sitting on like a coffee table or something like that with the acorns. And this is all from Castlewood, which should be in your, or most of it's from Castlewood, which should be in your local fabric store right now. What we're going to focus on right now is the oak leaves, because as my friend Jenny says, these are a challenge. Hey, when Edie McGinnis and I did Across the Wide Missouri for the Kansas City Star Quilt, we had one quilt books. We had one block that was what people had to take as they migrated, and they would take all their animals with them, because if you wanted milk, you needed a milk cow. If you wanted chickens, and you wanted eggs, you needed to take your chickens. And so we had one block that had this big tree with the animal standing under it, and she made hers an oak tree. And I said, oh, phooey on that, because it was a big, I mean, not huge, but it was lots of branches, lots of leaves, lots of oak leaves. I made mine an elm. We each made our own quilt block, our own quilt, and we had somewhat different blocks sometimes. So this time, I really, with acorns, couldn't get away from the oak leaves. Elm trees don't have acorns. So I wanted acorns on the back. I had to do the oak leaf on the front. So what we're going to focus on is appliquing this oak leaf onto the background. And the first thing you do, of course, is trace your pattern on freezer paper, iron it to the fabric, lay the fabric on your sandpaper board and trace around it, because you really don't want your fabric to stretch here, or you'll have very funny shaped acorn leaves. Oak leaves. Okay, now to applique it, what we need to do is clip, whatever, down to the pattern. And if you want to curve, you've got to have more than one clip. This really is kind of a point. But I think I would also make a little clip here. Do not make it on the outside. If you do, you'll get a point when you're appliquing down. On this, you need 3 if you can do it, and you can. Because 3 will give you a curve. 1 will give you a point, and we don't want points. Oak leaves don't have points. Might do maple leaves, but we're not doing maple leaves. Okay, once we've done that, we take our pattern off and pin this, just one pin to hold it in place. If you have applique glue, you can just put a dot in the middle. I wouldn't put it too close to the edges. Okay, now, what did I do with my needle? Oh, there it is, right where needles go. In the strawberry thing. All right. We're going to assume your branch is here, and if your branch is here, this is either over, no, it's under for the gold one. So that's going to be under the branch. Let's just turn it this way so it's just like it is in the pattern. Although the other two aren't like that. We didn't have to be, but you know. Okay, so now just finger press this under, and stitch. And we will stitch up to. And basically what we're learning to do here, we've done inside and outside curves before. And we've even done some that were kind of close together, like we did on that eagle's wing and the feathers. So we did a lot of in, out, in, out, in, out. This is kind of a deeper. That was more of a shallow wave. This is a deeper in and out curve. So we're doing inner curves and outer curves. It's a little more difficult with a small oak leaf like this than it is with like a larger tree. I think we've done that in the background, and that's kind of why we're doing it separately. But any of these things follow through with the same techniques, whether it's small or large. You're basically doing about the same thing. Okay, so now we're going to get up to, but the slight difference when you're doing it with something small is you get up to where it starts curving. And I'm going to have to take my glasses off so I can see what I'm doing. And we're going to trim a little because that curve you haven't got a whole lot of room to get fabric under there. So you just want to trim about half of it off. So you can tuck it under as you go around the curve. And see how easy that was, because there isn't much to tuck under because we've trimmed it. Okay, now we're going to the inside part. And we will do what we do with any other inside curve, and that is fold that clear under. There we go. No points. I think I may have trimmed that a little much, but no, I didn't. Okay, and just small, close together stitches on small things. Okay, now you straighten this back out. And you follow the curve under with your needle, and that is why it is called needle turn. And I don't need to sit here and do the whole oak leaf for you because the others are just repeat. Just repeat the same thing, but just keep your stitches together. Keep them small and turn your fabric under as you go. When you get to the outside, if you have to, you probably, especially on a curve this big, you won't need to trim that at all. You probably aren't going to have to on those two. This one over here was kind of big, but just keep stitching. Small stitches, turn it, small stitch, turn, small stitch, turn. There you go. Okay, so to recap, trace your pattern onto freezer paper, iron it to the fabric, stitch around it or draw around it using the sandpaper board, and then cut out about 1/4 of an inch all the way around, clip all your curves, and then stitch using very small stitches, trimming if there's too much on the outside curves, because there you've got to push all that fabric back under, and turning under and pulling out the fabric underneath out till you get the curve on your stitching line, and that's why you do this so well, is that's your stitching line. So we hope you've enjoyed this tutorial from Jan Patek Quilts. If you have, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks, and have a good day.